Hello guys, this is Jamie Black with a new series I'm going to be doing about the latest games and video games that are coming out to the PC, Xbox and PS3 and 4 and future consoles. This game is Destiny. If you haven't already heard, we're going to talk about this. So our first concept art is a hunter kind of hiding away from two enemy classes that we're going to talk about later. But bear in mind they're different species, so they've teamed up obviously. So that's pretty cool. So our next photo, here we see, I think they're two hunters fighting a robot enemy that we're going to get onto later. Behind this kind of massive rocky structure that looks really cool. Quite like to visit that when the game comes out. So our next photo, here we see a fortress on Mars occupied by the Cabal. The Cabal we're going to see later, we're going to see some concepts of them. In the bottom right corner, if you look, you'll see two, I think they're Guardians, but we're not entirely sure. But yeah, our next photo is, by the looks of it, I'm taking a guess here, Venus. I'm just taking a guess. It looks like there might be some kind of really weird unknown enemy down in that cavern. So here we see the moon. Now this looks like some kind of maybe underground, maybe mining base on the moon. So that looks pretty cool. I'd quite like to go there too. So it looks like a pretty massive mining, not entirely mining, but it might be mining. Here we see a fallen Pike land speeder driven by, I think, a hunter. Now these are going to be like the abbreviation of ghosts or choppers from Halo. These look really cool. Yeah. Okay, so here's our first enemy. They're called the Vex. We saw these earlier. These are time-traveling robots. These are going to be really annoying. I have a feeling they're going to piss us all off. These are going to be bouncing around the whole place when you're trying to do something. Here we see a Titan, a hunter, and a warlock fighting the Hive, a space zombie, what they're kind of being called. Now, the warlock, if you look at him, he's kind of using some kind of weird fire spell, which looks really cool. Here we see the Fallen. Now, we already know that they built the Pike Landspeeder, but here we see the Spider Tank, a massive, unstoppable tank with tons and tons of guns on it. So the Fallen are going to be quite hard. But here we have our next enemy, the Cabal. Massive, hulking badasses with huge guns and huge vehicles. They occupy Mars and that fortress we saw. So they're going to be really hard to kill. Here we just see an example of that. A warlock and a hunter, by the looks of it. The warlock being crushed by a Cabal shield. I think that's a shield, I'm not entirely sure. But he is being crushed. And that just shows the utter strength of the Cabal. Here we see a derelict city on Earth, by the looks of it. I'm pretty sure it's Earth. It might be Chicago or Texas or something. I'm not sure. It could be. Here we see another city on Earth that's been like destroyed after the collapse of the Golden Age. I can't say too much about this. I don't know what it is. The big spike I'm really curious about. I'm not sure what that is. Here we see, this is from the video Pathway Out of Darkness. Now we see two spaceships flying over an old rocket base, so that looks really cool. Here we see some kind of snowy military base. I think it's a military base because by the looks of it, it has a few tanks kind of scattered around. I think they're tanks. I'm not entirely sure. Here we see the Traveller hovering over the last city on Earth. From what we know about the Traveller, he just appeared and saved the human race from after the collapse of the Golden Age. So our next photo is, here we get quite a lot of good information. It tells us there will be spaceships, there will be like a joining kind of thing, there's faction wars, raid, the city, chapter 3, bounty, strike, there's that all kind of thing, and it looks really cool. So our next photo is our first class, called the Hunter. Now the Hunter is your classic stealth, quick on his feet, small weapons and snipers. He has a knife and a kind of cool revolver looking pistol, which I'm quite a fan of. That looks really cool. Here we have our second class, the Warlock, like your classical magic class basically, with a really cool sniper, and by the looks of it some kind of blue shield that I'm quite interested in. I'm not knowing if it's a shield. So I don't know what that blue shield is, right? Here we have our next class, the Titan. Now the Titan looks really cool. It's like your classical charging in there, killing everything and leaving no remains. It looks pretty badass, taking its influence from like Master Chief, I think. So thanks for this game news update. Stay tuned for the next one and maybe watch our other short videos.